Koan7, bits move faster than thought. The internet existed before there were personal computers. It predates the fiber optic connections cables that now hold it together. When it started around 1970, the ARPANET, as it was called, was designed to connect a handful of universities and military computers. No one imagined a network connecting tens of millions of computers and shipping information around the world in the blink of an eye, along with processing power and storage capabilities. Networking was experienced in its own exponential growth. A number of computers interconnected and the rate at which data can be shipped over long distances. From space to Earth and from service providers into private homes. The internet has caused dramatic shifts in business practices. Customer service calls are outsourced to India today, not just because labor costs are low there. Labor costs have always been low in India, but the international telephone calls used to be expensive. Calls about airline reservations and lingerie returns are answered in India today because it now takes almost no time and costs almost no money to send to India, the bits representing our voice. The same principle holds for professional services. When you are x-rayed at your local hospital in Iowa, the radiologist who reads the x-ray may be half a world away. The digital x-ray moves back and forth across the world faster than a physical x-ray could be moved between floors in a hospital. When you place an order at a drive-through station at a fast food restaurant, the person taking the order may be in another state. She keys the order so it appears on a computer screen in the kitchen, a few feet from your car, and you are none the wiser. Such developments are causing massive changes to the global economy as industries figure out how to keep their workers in one place and ship their businesses as bits. Your secret password is NIGHT, N-I-G-H-T, NIGHT. In the bit world in which messages flow instantaneously, it sometimes seems that distance doesn't matter at all. The consequences can be startling. One of us, while dean of an American college, witnessed the shock of a father receiving condolences on his daughter's death. The story was sad but familiar, except that this version had a startling twist. Father and daughter were both in Massachusetts, but the condolences arrived halfway around the world before the father had learned that his daughter had died. News, even the most intimate news, travels fast in the bit world. Once it gets out, in the fall of 2007, when the government of Myanmar suppressed protests by Buddhist monks, television stations around the world showed video clips taken by cell phones, probably changing the posture of the U.S. government. The Myanmar rebellion also showed the power of information control when information is just bits. The story dropped off the front page of the newspaper once the government took total control of the internet and cell phone towers. The instantaneous communication of massive amounts of information has created the misimpression that there is a place called cyberspace, a land without frontier where all the world's people can be interconnected as though they were residents of the same small town. That concept has been decisively refuted by the actions of the world's court. National states' borders still count, and count a lot. If a book is bought online in England, the publisher and the author are subject to British libel laws rather than those of the homeland of the author or the publisher. Under British law, defendants have to prove that they're innocent. In the U.S., plaintiffs have to prove the guilt of the defendant. An ugly downside of the explosion of digital information and its movement around the world is that information may become less available. Even though it may be legally protected, we return to this subject in Chapter 7. You can't say that on the internet. Publishers feel liable tourism lawsuits in countries with weak protection of free speech. Designed to intimidate authors and more open societies, it may prove simpler to publish only a single version of a work for sale everywhere, in addition omitting information that might somehow excite a lawsuit.